Hey, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Creative Resilience. I'm your host, uh, Rex. I almost forgot my name there for a second. People that have seen this before, I'm just showing you some techniques of drawing that help me get through some of the problems that I encountered through my life, especially after I retired from law enforcement. And what I mainly do is called pointillism, which is all dots. When I do a drawing, 95% of the time it's all dots completely. But I also have other outlets that I do with it. I sit down and I'll doodle and create different patterns and such. And what it does, and I hope it does for you, it helps me to relax, focus, and concentrate on what I'm doing, but it also makes me very relaxed, comfortable, and helps me see things completely different than what you're used to seeing, I should say, if that makes any sense. But I see things more clearly and differently now, and more depth, and notice more now that I've started my drawing back up again. Like I said, I'd put drawing on hold for almost 40 years. I retired from law enforcement in 2019. And then I started devoting my time back to drawing. And what I'm going to do is I'll split the screen. I'm going to bring up the other camera that shows me drawing and some of the techniques. And I'm not asking you to become an artist. And as far as I'm concerned, everybody is in their own way, in their own creativeness. But I'm just showing you techniques that I have used to help me combat some of the, how do I want to put this, negativity that has come up. And a lot of it occurred from my job. But I just encourage you to grab some paper, a fine tip marker or a pencil, and just let it go. It's like you're a little kid again. And I can remember in preschool getting a piece of paper and a crayon. And I thought it was better than breathing. And I've just loved it and held on to it ever since. And now it means more to me than ever, because it's more than just my drawings. It's my mental health as well, for having my drawings and for the outlet. Excuse me. So I'll bring up the other camera here. As you can see, there we go. And tonight, besides showing some of the pointillism that I do, I'm going to show you different patterns that will help enhance what you're doing and how simple they are. I mean, I just sit down and come up with things. And then I realized, wow, I can incorporate some of these into what I do. And again, that just helps, where I said it helps me see things differently, and helps me see things more clearly. It opens up more creativity for me and relaxes me even more. It gets me excited about what I'm doing and how far it's taken me so far and how much farther it's going to take me, and hopefully you guys with me, by creating and having an outlet. So let's see here. Let's make the tree blue. And I like drawing trees. They're, a symbol of life. And but when I draw a tree, it isn't, this wispy willow or this magnificent redwood. I just start off and, like I said, nothing has to be perfect because nobody's perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. And there, you probably can't see it. I'm trying to make it. Hopefully you can see that. I don't know if I can bring the camera closer. Give me a sec. There we go. As you can see, it's just a simple tree that I started. This is the trunk, and I'll get to the branches and stuff later. But hopefully you'll see something so simple. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but once you start to open your mind up and clearing it and just actually seeing something for the first time is how a lot of it is when I draw. It's like, wow, I've never seen this before, or how did I come up with this? And it's just part of the techniques and the focus that I do with the drawing. So, sorry about the shadow. I can't move the light anywhere else. What I'm going to do is it's going to be a series of lines, and it will end up creating like the bark and help with the twist of the tree. So I just start out, simply just one line, and then I just go from there. And something so simple as just by putting the lines on it, it already starts to give the tree life. And, I'm asking everybody, set aside an hour a day for yourself. Sit down and try, to create something. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, I think everybody can draw. It's just in their own way. Art's subjective. I have people say, "Oh, I wish I could draw like you." No, you don't. I can't stress enough to whatever creative outlet you come up with, that you make it your own. I'm flattered that people, want to emulate my drawings, but it's not true. They're just copying somebody else. And that's not what you want to do. You want to create your own, call it your own. And the more focus and concentration and repetitiveness you put into it, it becomes habit. And like they say, if you do something for 30 days, it becomes habit. And it's true. See, I'll show you here in a sec again. All I'm doing is putting lines on there. That's it. I do have some funny little stories to tell. In fact, I have an art show that I'm doing tomorrow. And inevitably, every art show that I do, and I draw when I'm at my art shows. I just don't, I do sit there and visit with everybody because I love to talk and I love to meet people and talk with them. But inevitably, somebody will come up and go, "Who's the artist?" I'm sitting there drawing in front of them and they'll ask who the artist is. So instead of me just saying, well, it's me, this is all my stuff, I tell them, my cat draws everything. I just sign my name to it. And the looks I get are absolutely hilarious, no, I just sat down at this empty chair and I saw this drawing, so I'm going to sit here and mess with it. It's just funny how some people, again, don't look with their eyes. They don't see what's actually around them and take time to do it. With me creating my drawings, that changes it for me. And hopefully it'll change it for you, that the creativeness and the focus is amazing, because you'll know when you hit your stride in this and how different you'll feel and how excited you'll feel to pick up a pen and paper if that's what you intend to do. But, everything is created basically from a drawing. If you're going to build a front porch on your house, you have to do the dimensions, draw it, and then build it. Same with somebody who designs a car or has to fix a motor. There's some out there with a schematic that shows you exactly, and it had to be drawn. So it comes back full, no matter what's created, it all comes from a drawing, most of it. It's like the 3D printer, which I just started getting into. You have to create your own file to create something on the 3D printer. And like I've said before, I thought I was smart until I got a 3D printer, because it's completely different of what I'm used to. But that's another thing that's fun about it, is it's another way, outlet for me to create and spend time learning about it and having fun with it. It's not like, when we were kids and, I got to go to school today. It's totally different now. And don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest kid you're ever going to meet. Because like they say, if you haven't grown up by the age 50, you don't have to. Well, I didn't. I'm an adult when I have to be an adult. So again, whatever you create, make it your own. And instead of, I'm showing you just different techniques that I use and work with, but try to come up with your own. And a lot of my drawings has started out that way. I'll start doing something, and I'll go, what can I do here? And like I say every show, I doodle. And I hope that people still use that. I doodle. And when I do, I end up creating different patterns, just like doing the tree here. But it's one way to open up your mind and just let everything go and forget about everything else. Like I said, set aside an hour a day for yourself. Listen to music if you want to while you're creating. Have it quiet. You can have the TV on as background noise. That's fine. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. 99% of the time, I've got music going when I sit down and draw, and I get lost in my drawings. Time just slips away, and it makes me feel great when I finally do stop, because I've created something with my own hands and my imagination, and I've been relaxed and very comfortable for however long I've sat there and drawn. And there's sometimes I'll sit there 5, 6, 7 hours at a time and not even realize that I've been sitting there and working on it that long. And another technique that I probably didn't come up with it, but I've never seen anybody else do it. So I say I come up with it. When it came to, if you're going to have a tree that's going to have leaves on it, there's a simple way, we'll use red, to do it. And it is so simple, but it's fun to do. I just start and just back and forth, side to side, circles. And see how that was? It was just so simple for me to start creating leaves on the trees by just, it's actually scribbles is all it is. And I see that the pen I grabbed is starting to give up on me. So, but as I was getting ready for today's show, and you know, I pray before every show that somebody will learn something from it, and hopefully will help them, and to help me to help you, I guess. And it's just, you know, I'm not a professional or anything, but it's stuff that we can do ourselves to better ourselves, make our surroundings better, make our relationships better by the repetitiveness and thinking about what you're going to sit down with the pen and paper and do. It, you know, like I said, create. If you want to just sit down and go, okay, I'm gonna do a circle, a triangle. She can't see it. A square, a rectangle, you know, and then just go from there, because you may look at it and go, oh my gosh, what if I did this? Move this a little so you can see it. Added a line here, one here. And go, oh my gosh, look, just from making those the squares, the triangle, the rectangle, and just from what little I put on there, I seen a boat from just those simple little figures that you did, the squares, the triangle, the rectangle. It all, that's what I seen after I put it down. And again, that's just from the creative outlet of the repetitiveness and the focus that you put in on something. And like I've said so many times, you see things clearer and differently. And just that simple, making the square and the triangle and the rectangle, I seen a boat right away. You know, somebody else may have seen something else in that. And what an accomplishment to me to create something out of just the little bit that I drew on there. So get back to where it started. I'm sorry, I float away sometimes. But before the show, I was adding pictures to show everybody. But I also came up with or looked up some of my favorite quotes from different people. And let's go here. Like this one from Albert Einstein. Logic will get you from A to Z, but imagination will get you everywhere. How true is that? I mean, what an amazing thing. And if you didn't know, Albert Einstein was funny. He was absolutely hilarious. Besides, him being brilliant. And here, I'm just going to show you some of the creative stuff. This is the very first picture I ever did in pointillism. That's my very first one, where the entire thing is dots. Even the black that you see, that's all dots. It's just so tightly packed that it looks like it's solid. And like I said, that is the very first one I ever did in complete pointillism. And I sold it right away. But that's where it enhanced my focus in my creativity and helped get rid of some of my anxiety by just learning a technique that I never ever thought of using before. And it's a lost art. Pointillism is a lost art. And I started doing it just as shading. And now I do entire pictures of it. And I strongly, suggest you just try the dots. You don't have to draw anything spectacular. Just let me get here. Like I've shown before, just draw a box. And don't even worry about the shading or where the light's coming from. Just sit there and do the dots. And in just that little amount of time, I got half the box filled in with nothing but dots. And hopefully you can see that. See, it's just dots. That's it. But the more you sit there and create and let yourself go, I know that sounds easier. I make it, to me, I'm not making it sound easy, because it's not. When I first started out, it was difficult for me to focus and do this. All I did was just concentrate on oh, I got to make this thing perfect. It's got to be this way. And the more I thought about making something perfect, the worse the picture come out. So I had to rewire myself to like baby steps, one step at a time. This here didn't happen overnight. Like I said, I put it on hold for 40 years. My kids didn't know I could draw. And I thought I was like falling off a bicycle, getting back on and taking right off. Oh, no, it's not. I was fooling myself because I sat down and thought I could just do what I've done years ago. And it was bad. I couldn't even draw a straight line. But the more I concentrated and focused and let my mind go, the easier it became. And there was more light than darkness anymore. The negativity was going away. The positivity was coming through. And part of the positivity from it is the accomplishment of just taking time to do what I do and do it for me. And hopefully then other people will accept it just as much as people do now for me. I mean, when people tell me how much they love my drawings and how talented I am, it means more than anything than me selling a picture. It's far more satisfying. Let's see. I'll bring up another one here. This is pretty cool. This young couple, friends of mine, sent me this picture and wanted to know if I could draw them. So here is the photograph, and here is the drawing. There's the picture, and there's my drawing. It's another self-satisfying and accomplishment when I set out to do something and it is better than I expected it to be and created something that looks just like the picture that was sent to me. I mean, see, his bow tie's a little crooked and so on. His bow tie's a little crooked here. And it was fun to do. And he got the picture. I sent it to him. And he had no words. And that meant everything to me. Well, first I said, is that good or bad? He said, no, it's good. So again, that was something that I said I'd never do. I said that I would never be bald. I am bald. I never have facial hair. I do. And I would not draw portraits. Never say never. Because that's what I've accomplished by proving myself wrong. By stepping, another baby step towards, I guess, my enlightenment, and hopefully enlightenment for you by opening up your mind. Again, it's just from the repetitiveness, the focus that you put into it, and how deep you'll get into this and how everything goes away. You know, the monkey on your back will jump off. The negativity will melt away and the positive will come through. And that's what I'm simply trying to get across to people and show them, show all of you that there are other means besides seeing professionals or going and doing this or going and doing that. That's all great. And don't get me wrong, but there is also things we can do for ourselves that will make it even better. And I'm living proof of it. It was difficult when I retired. It was going from, 1,000 miles an hour to zero. And there was times that I just wanted to quit my drawing, but I knew it was helping, and all I did was be consistent with it. And to this day, I'm still consistent with it. Another quote I want to bring up here. This quote here, I live simply so others may simply live. I heard that when I was in high school. And don't know who wrote it, who said it, but I have always tried to live that way since I heard that. Because what a true thing. So simple. Obviously, I live simply so others may simply live. And that again helped me with being humble and knowing that I can change myself and then change the things around me. I'm going to be 61 years old. You can teach an old dog a new trick. And never let anybody give you a reason to doubt, because there isn't. People that doubt you and say you can't do this or can't do that, they've never sat down and tried. It's easy to point the finger at somebody else when there's 4 fingers pointing back at you. So smile, keep going, and do what you want to do. And keep it positive. Positive thoughts bring out positive, positive thoughts bring out positive action. And it's so true. And it's the other side is if you feed into negativity, things just get more negative. And I refuse to add to the negativity in the world. And by doing this, helps change my surroundings, my relationships. Again, I know I'm repeating things, but it is so true. And I'm hoping that you who are watching can do the same thing. Find a way to take an hour a day for yourself. Find you something that you believe in, that you can do, you want to create. And again, you're going to see things differently. They're going to be clearer. You're going to smile a lot more. You're going to laugh a lot more. And, it's not some big scientific experiment or something that some scientists come up with. saying, here, if you do this, and it doesn't always have to be this big, huge, universal thought. You make it your own, and you do what you can do. So let's see. I was going to show some more here. Everybody knows who this is. And the funny thing is, I was actually working on a piece that I was commissioned to do. And for some reason, again, I had to stop because something told me I needed to draw this. And I seen a picture of Ozzy looking at the Bible, and that's what I drew. And again, it wasn't something I thought about. It just happened. And I'm glad it did. I love doing Native American. And here's one that I did. And that's, again, it's all dots. Started from nothing but a rough sketch, and this is what I end up with. And there were 70 plus hours put into this one to get it finished. And again, it didn't seem like it was that long because I enjoy what I do and the creative outlet and the creativity that I come up with. Or when somebody suggests something that can you do this? And I'm like, yes. And I love a challenge. So it's interesting how some of the things that people come up with that want to have you do for them. And again, because of just sitting down and practicing and the repetitiveness and the focus, it comes right to me when somebody asks, I want this, this, and this in the picture. And it'll instantly come up, and I know exactly what I'm going to draw. So let's see here. And I do other things, other mediums besides the pointillism. And this is how I started out. When I got back into making the decision to start doing this and to improve myself and improve the skill, I couldn't figure out a medium that I wanted to do. And so, believe it or not, this isn't watercolors. This is permanent marker on a canvas. And watercolors are great, but you can't get the bright colors that I wanted. So sorry about that. The cat's howling at me here to get the right colors. And I was wondering how I could blend them all together. And it took me a little bit, but the simple thing was rubbing alcohol in a brush. And this one I did not too long ago. And a lady seen it and bought it right away out of New Jersey. Baby kitty, really? Let's see. I'm going to give you one more quote here, and this one's by Albert Einstein as well. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep going. And how true is that? moving forward is the biggest thing. And baby steps. Again, set that time aside and just let your mind go and not really think about what you're going to draw or what you're going to do. It will come to you. And that's what a simple thing. And again, it's very satisfying, and the pride that you'll get from doing whatever you create is amazing, and everybody around it will see the difference as well. And before we go here, I do a thing called cross hatching. Let me see. I'm going to make it big enough so you can see it, hopefully. Made this just like this. And the cross hatching is all these straight lines that intersect with each other. And I'll have people, when they see it, go, well, isn't that tough? Because, it takes twice as long with a ruler. I don't use a ruler. I simply just do the lines. That simple. And then I turn the paper a lot to get the right angle and put some more. And actually, when I do it, part of it is the relaxation of it is I count how many lines that I'm putting on. And just like that, that's it. No ruler, just my imagination is what it come up with. And again, the satisfaction and pride you get from creating something of your own. And I don't want to say it's an epiphany, but like I said, you see things much differently. And the light will come in more and more than the darkness will. It'll go away. And like I said, I'm living proof. Put an hour aside a day. Create something. Whether sit down and a model. If you haven't put a model together since you were a kid, do that. I mean, I did a few, and I thought I could just, no. It took a long time and a lot of patience to get that get the model done. I had to slow down and paint the pieces before I put them together. So, and that, again, it's still art. You're still creating something, and it's all been created by a drawing at some point. Oh, let's see. Sorry. We've got about 10 minutes left. And if there's any questions that anybody has, please ask. You know, I'm an open book. I'm no expert, but I believe the techniques and the stuff that I've done can help. And it doesn't cost anything. If you go to my Facebook pages, the telephone number that's on there is my cell phone. If you want to call and talk to me and just somebody to talk to or ask about the things that I do and create, please do. If I don't answer it, please leave a message and I will call you right back. Or email me or send me a message on Facebook. I will answer you right away. And I will do to my best ability to help with anything. And if I don't know an answer, I'll make one up. Then that way you have, whether it's right or wrong, you'll have an answer. Another quick story. I quit titling all my drawings because everybody, titles it. This is such and such, and this is so and so, blah, blah, blah. I quit doing it because people would look at my drawings and go, oh, that's what you named it? I wouldn't have named it that. I would have named it something completely different. It should have been named this. And again, they're not the one that created it. I was. But it got to the point where I just didn't want to explain myself anymore. And because everybody thought I had this huge epiphany that's why I created what I did, but I titled it wrong. And that's not the way it is. Somebody will ask, well, what inspired that? I just thought it'd be a cool picture. There doesn't have to be some big story behind it to make the picture interesting. So now that I don't title them, I'll have people ask, well, how come there's no title to this picture? And I'll simply look at them and go, when you get a puppy or a kitten, you name them, right? And they're like, well, yeah. And I said, you buy one of my drawings and you want to call it Fart in the Wind, go right ahead. You call it what you want because everybody sees something different. And instead of me putting a label on it, whoever buys it basically makes it their own by titling it themselves. And it was an easy and way to take care of a situation that was so simple and just with a simple answer. Again, and this all stems from the focus and the creativeness and the openness of what I do has helped me to, how do I say, divert the negativity without being mean about it. So, like I said, if you buy one of my drawings or get one, it's one of a kind. I do not draw it again. Once I've drawn it, I'm done. I won't draw it again. I don't want to be that person that draws the same thing over and over again. Nothing against anybody that wants to do landscapes and stuff like that, wants to do the Bob Ross thing, who was brilliant. That's fine. But I keep pushing the boundaries and I find out that something somewhere or somebody down the line, they'll find something that I've created that has helped me, and in a way it helps them. And I've had people in their 70s and 80s like my stuff, not just, teenagers or younger people. It appeals to everybody, which is another thing from just by accident, by creating and helping myself and becoming a better person and making life smoother for me and my friends and family and relationships. It's helping somebody else. And what more could I ask for? It's a beautiful thing that something that helped me is now helping somebody else by me simply creating something. So again, take time every day. Time for yourself. Set aside an hour. If you got longer than an hour that you could have to yourself, please do it. And don't get discouraged. There will be something that you'll just start doing and you'll go, wow, the time just flew by and I did this. And you'll swell up with pride, and other people will see that and see the change and see the happiness and see how radiant you are by just doing something that you have thought up and created and done, and the satisfaction is second to none. Oh, I made it rhyme. So please, I can't say enough. Play music if you're going to play music when you're doing it. If you meditate, and it is a part of meditation for me, because once I get into the rhythm of it, that's it. I'm focused on that. And like I said, the time just goes by, and the satisfaction when you stop is like, wow, for the last 5 hours, I did this. It doesn't seem that long, but how refreshed and positive you feel. The anxiety starts to go away. The depression starts to go away. And I know for me, by doing what I'm doing, it's helping with my PTSD too. So again, work time's almost up. Thank you for joining me again. It was fun. I love doing this. I'll have another show this Thursday. It'll be, like this one. It's going to be just laid back, calm, fun. It's just like I'm talking to all my friends out there, even though I can't see you. And I consider everybody that watches someone that is a friend and believes in me, believes in themselves, and believe that things that I'm showing will make a difference. And it will. I can't guarantee you that, but if you keep at it, things will change for the better. Like I said, positive thoughts bring positive action. So again, thanks. And I want to thank Veterans Voice Radio for giving me the chance to do this. I can't thank them enough for allowing me to have a webinar and to be able to help other people as well as I'm helping myself at the same time. So please, I hope to see you again on Thursday. It's been great. I loved the hour just flew by. And I'm going to end it by saying a hug and a smile go a long ways, and it doesn't cost anything. Smiling at somebody or giving them a hug will make their day. And you never know. Maybe it's something that person needed at that time. And I hug strangers. I've hugged a lot of strangers just by stopping, smiling at them, and start talking with them. And by the time we're done, I'm hugging them and they're hugging me and thanking me for taking the time to stop and listen and to care. And again, it all goes back to what I have taught myself by just the creativeness, the repetitiveness, the focus. I can't say enough. Again, by doing this, I help somebody else just by smiling at them or giving them a hug. So again, a smile and a hug don't cost a thing, and it will change somebody's life, and it makes your life better too. So again, everybody be blessed. Have a great time. Thanks for being here tonight and listen to me ramble on. I will ramble again on Thursday. So everybody have a great week. Be blessed and live your life to the fullest and as positive as you can make it. Love you all, and I will see you again on Thursday.